Personally, I've always found the gradient puzzles go a lot faster than other puzzles, mainly because you can separate out the colors a lot easier than you can with others. Obviously you have the greens, the yellows, and then you get them all separated, and then when you put them back together, they're basically all in the same group. So it's just a lot simpler of a strategy. So let's get into it. Sorting is completed. We have orange and yellow, purple and pink, green and blue. And I typically do this different ways for different puzzles. When I do the drops of color, I'll probably put them in separate little containers and then work on them that way. But because these have darker spots in between the eggs, I figured this might be the easiest way to go. So now we can start assembly. I ended up starting with the purples. I'm not really sure why I picked the purple, but it worked really well and it went together really fast. So now we can move on to the green and the blue. We are now finished with the green section as well. So now I'll move on to the blue and then the yellow and orange. Not sure which order I'll do those in, but we'll keep her going until it's all complete. And there we have it, a completed gradient puzzle. So pretty. Now on to the next one. Now let's get into this drops of color gradient. Again, this one's a little different. It doesn't go from one color to the next. It's kind of more of a rounded shape, and the yellow kind of goes all up in here with the purple and the pink and the blue. But yeah, this one will be fun, so let's get her going. Very rarely do I separate pieces into individual containers like these. My grandma used to use pie tins when we did puzzles together back in the day. But for gradients, I make an exception. I like to see the pieces that I'm working on in different areas, so it's much easier than just spreading them all out on the table and then trying to sort through them. So let's get going. The pieces are all sorted. Now I just have to decide what color to start with. You know, green is my favorite color. Let's start there. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to approach a gradient puzzle like this is to just pull out one color at a time, like I've done here. I took out the light and medium greens. I've left the teal and the turquoise in the containers, and I'm just gonna push those off to the side for right now, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But usually when you have a lot of colors in front of you, it can be overwhelming. So start with a simple little group like this. I've completed the portion of light and medium greens. So now let's do all of these teals and turquoise colors and finish off this corner. And now that those are complete, onto the light blue and the rest of the blue. One tray down. Now onto yellow and orange. All right, we're gonna start with kind of the greenish yellow light yellow colors and then move on to the dark yellow and gold. Onto the dark yellow and gold. And now for the orange. All right, onto the dark orange and reddish orange. Another container down. And now let's start on some of this corally pink color. We are moving right along, and now for all of the pretty pink. Okay, we have emptied yet another container. Now onto some fuchsia. And moving on to violet. Onto the purple. And finally, bluish purple. And there we have it, Drops of Color by Aimee Stewart from Buffalo Games, complete. It's definitely given off some Lisa Frank vibes. If you grew up in the 90s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's how I do a gradient. I actually did this one kind of like in a swirl pattern because that's the way the colors took me. And sometimes that's what you do. You let the puzzle take you where you need to go. Anyway, until next time, happy puzzling.